Welcome. Thank you all for tuning in for episode 2 of week 1. And we first want to say thank you to our 65 unique viewers. That's it. Not 5. 65. And they watched for a total of 500 minutes. Actually 499, but I rounded up 1. So thank you to all the people tuning in. You're the reason we do this. You know, it's a lot of hard work, dedication, and effort. We've got people flying across the country to make it. We've got Mark out in Prescott. And so we really are doing this for you, the fans. So made famous from Sources Horses, we have Mark flashing the 10.
I'm counting up to 500 for 500 minutes.
All right. You're better at math than I am. And right back to Phoenix from the great state of North Carolina, we've got Nick Mowry.
Escaping hurricanes.
Eating hurricanes, chasing hurricanes, escaping hurricanes. Now, before we get started, we want to say thank you to our sponsor, the Peter Heater. One size fits most. For those of you up in the north, this might be quite the utilization you can use. We also have the Willy Warmer if you use promo code TLR. That's right. Promo code TLR after you search Peter Heater will get you an extended Willy Warmer that will fit every size guaranteed. So once again, promo code TLR on the Peter Heater site will get you a Willy Warmer. That's all you can ask for. Now I'm going to kick it off
so Tommy,
as we do every segment and go.
Last week you did such a good job of asking questions about our ads. So I have to ask, how many times have you used that?
14. It doesn't quite help the carriage, so to speak, but the motorcade gets well warmed.
That was kind of a trick question. I was mainly fishing for if it fit yours, and it does.
Well, one size fits most. You know, I'm most.
All right,
just your average guy talking football.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you know, players play. Off to Commissioner's Call. What you got?
Commissioner's Call this week. Nice transition set up for me by Big Mama, who reinforced last week's rule that if you drop a guy who's already played and you pick up a guy that hasn't played, you will be charged $10 fab. He was charged today. But the transition is that this week I want to remind everybody that in the payouts, $100 is going to be awarded at the end of the season in a lottery. And in order to get a ticket in the lottery, you get the highest scoring point total for a given week. So we're 1 week in, and Big Mama was the high scorer. He was less than 1 point higher than Roger. And he gets a ticket, if you will, in the lottery, and we'll draw that winner during the fantasy playoffs. It is going to be 13 entries for each of the regular season weeks, and the winner will get $100.
This was in the rules?
Yeah, I've also learned that Nick did not read the rules.
What does the lowest scoring week get? Just for asking for a friend.
The lowest does not get anything, but the rules have yet to write what happens to the last place finisher for the season.
That's a great intro. I think we should ask our 65 plus listeners to start throwing ideas on the forum. We'll discuss them every week, and by about week 7 or 8, we'll nail it down.
I pitched my one idea I have right now.
Go for it.
The last place finisher each year, so you may have to do it more than once, has to apply and sit and take the entire SAT.
Doesn't that cost a bunch of money?
No, it's only like $50. It's not that much money. But you have to go, and we have to figure out some outfit for them to wear, and they just have to walk in and sit and waste a whole day of their life with high schoolers trying to get into college.
And you got to beat some score too. Like,
Well, you have to tell us your score for sure.
Yeah, you have to tell us the score. I think I draw the line at the outfit, though.
You don't think that's too much?
Yeah. Unless I can wear my straight bass homie shirt.
straight pass. Well,
But
let's
I
get
don't
in-
think I'm going to finish last.
That's
You think
fair.
that's a good enough punishment, though?
Yeah.
The $50 worries me.
The
But let's hear what the fans have to say. I mean, that's
All right.
as good of an idea as any I've heard.
considering it's the only one, I'm right there with you. All right, well, let's get into football. I got like 3 big topics. I actually took notes this week. Here they are.
I have a few topics as well.
I'm just going to summarize my 3 and kick it off, which is Cleveland's going to Cleveland. That was by far the best tie I've ever seen.
It was amazing.
Khalil Mack, kind of a monster. Really pissed we traded him. But Aaron fucking Rodgers.
Yeah, we don't talk about Aaron Rodgers on this podcast.
No, you gotta talk about the game of the week.
Not
And
my
then the-
squad.
The last point is that my team shit the bed on Monday, lead at half. I had some hope, but it was since crushed. So I don't know. James Conner looked good though. Pittsburgh.
I think if you're really trying to give the 3 big storylines, I think including a pretty straightforward Rams blowout of the Raiders is not worthy of the top 3.
They're worthy of my top 3. This ain't your top 3. You talk about yours.
I guess
Well,
my
so
top
actually-
3. Go on.
Go ahead.
Well, maybe both of our top 3s, Nick, would probably start with Skull Vikings.
Oh!
Sheldon Richardson, splashy.
Putting his body weight all over Garoppolo.
Dalvin Cook had like the first 5 touches of that game. He would look
that
pretty
was
sharp.
that was my second big storyline, and my
Apparently,
third big
he's a wide
storyline.
receiver now.
Yeah.
My third big storyline was our kicker. I don't believe he missed any.
Carlson, the rookie.
So those are pretty big headlines. What do you got, Nick?
Well, I'll take us away from the homer, but the Vikings do not look like they'll lose a game this year and might be the best team ever. But moving on. So I have a question for you guys. What was more entertaining to you? The Browns tying and Hugh Jackson being 130-1 as the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, or Matt Stafford throwing 4 picks to the horrible New York Jets?
Fun stat for the Browns fans out there. This is their first opening day not loss since 2004. They've gone 14 years without winning, and this is as close as it gets. I mean, they probably poured a half a bottle of water to celebrate.
That stat edges me back towards the Browns, but a little story I saw today had me previously edged towards the Lions, because after one game, it sounds like all the Lions are revolting and saying how much they hate playing for Matt Patricia and how they worked up too hard all summer. They've just been bottling it up in case he was actually going to get them wins, but now that it's a disaster, they're all letting loose.
And all the fans now just all of a sudden hate Matt Stafford and think he's overbid just instantly.
Although I do feel like we watch the Lions every year way too often because I was on like Thanksgiving, and I would notice watching that game, Kenny Galladay is like taking over that team. Like he's the new top receiver on that team.
I don't know what he's itching for. He's really talking me up here. He mentioned James Conner for no reason, and now Kenny Galladay, one of like 40 receivers to get 100 yards. Those are both my guys.
But Galladay he had a strip when they threw that pick. Yeah, exactly. He made that strip. He looked like a linebacker there, so he should get half a point just for the strip.
Yeah, fumble recovery. That should be a thing.
Well, he didn't recover it. He caused it. But then the other note I had on the Browns game was, I don't know about you guys, but when they took Bradley Chubb, or when they took Denzel Ward instead of Bradley Chubb, I was kind of scratching my head. But then Denzel Ward gets 2 picks in that game. So early dividends for the somewhat questionable 4th overall draft pick.
Now, do you still think it was worth it if you consider that they could have gone 1st overall Saquon Barkley and then 4th overall taken whatever quarterback, probably Baker Mayfield?
We'll have to see.
How many
Baker.
Clevelanders do you think ran to a bar to get some of those free Bud Lights because they thought they were going to win the game.
There's actually no alcohol in those Bud Lights.
What are you talking about?
They're alcohol free because they can't monitor that people under 21 aren't going to take it. So they actually don't have any alcohol in them. It's like
that's a storyline.
I know.
Yeah,
that's why Cleveland's a big topic today.
Wow.
No one even wants this.
That when the Warriors stole a game on the road, that the tacos that Taco Bell were giving away, did they even have real meat in them?
Yeah, because meat's legal no matter what age you are.
Well, unless you're a vegan.
And you can keep your meat warm with a Peter heater.
What?
Going back to the ad. Always be selling.
Wow.
I don't even know what to do about that.
I think your 2 ads are gonna even out because I'm gonna have 0 ads. But we'll get to that.
Well, so that was only my first take. The next one is, are the Bills really bad, or is Joe Flacco actually pretty good?
Is he elite?
I think we know the answer to this.
The Bills are shitty.
The Bills are knocking on that door for 0-16.
Yeah.
But
what's kind of strange is, who are they knocking for? Because usually teams go for that first pick for a quarterback, but they just took one.
Nick Bosa.
Who is he?
Ohio State, younger brother of Joey Bosa. He's a terror off the edge.
Or some freak athletic on Alabama. We don't know who he is yet, but I'm sure there's somebody.
I mean, Alabama's highest draft picks have been the receivers. Like, they don't have that many, like, 1s, 2s, and 3s. They kill, like, the 7 through 14 range where they've got all those guys going. But I feel like they're never, like, the top few.
You guys don't think the Ravens are good, though?
No.
Yeah, I'm not buying them yet.
I mean, they'll make the playoffs, but what team doesn't make the playoffs in the AFC?
That's about 8 of them.
How many teams from the NFC would make the playoffs in the AFC?
All of them.
Every one. That is the correct answer.
Yeah.
Except for the Lions.
Yeah, the Lions are pretty bad. Okay, third take is Alex Smith still bad, or is he good now?
He is exactly who we always thought he is, because he makes you ask this question every week. Puts up just enough to keep you in it and tickle your fancy.
Tease there for a future segment. But I think Alex Smith is classic case of East Coast bias. You know, he goes to the East Coast, now everybody's all on him, like, oh, this guy's the best. No, not buying it.
I'm on board with that. I have another random question for you, too. What is the difference when you watch Red Zone, whether you get Scott Hansen or Andrew Siciliano? Because everyone always talks about Scott Hansen, but on mine, I stream it through the DirecTV.com or whatever, and I always get Siciliano.
Same.
Is that a serious question?
It is. No, because like there's two hosts.
Nick field that.
Well, I only ever get Siciliano. I didn't know there's other options.
Scott Hansen.
Yeah, exactly. The reason why you guys both didn't realize there's a different option is because one's on Dish and one's on DirecTV.
Well, how did you know?
Because that's just something that's in my common knowledge head.
Well, I had to.
That makes less sense than them being two different hosts.
Also, I did catch one of their announcer glitch that I thought was funny. So, Patriots game, Tom Brady. It's like the first play they show on Red Zone because it's the Patriots and they're coming on offense, and it's Jim Nance and Tony Romo doing it. And Tom Brady runs on the field, and Jim Nance goes, "And here comes T. Brady." Just T. Brady, not Tom Brady or Brady. Like T. Brady, you're 2 letters away, and T doesn't buy you anything.
Reading off of his program.
Yeah, I thought that was the funniest line I heard of that morning. But
I wasn't going to bring it up,
nice
but now that you're talking about announcers, how bad is Beth Mowins?
Oh, and Brian Greasy's a stiff.
That was the worst. Actually, that was the second worst tandem of all time, right behind Beth Mowins and Chris Berman. from last year.
You liked Jason Witten on Monday Night Football?
Yeah, I didn't think he was that great either.
He was horrible.
Yeah, no, I don't.
He had some
enjoy them.
jitters. Maybe I'll give him a.
He's going to be replaced with Greg Olson before the year's over.
Who just broke his ankle
Yep.
again.
Greg Olson's coming for Witten.
Yeah.
Greg Olson, by the way, classic option for the IR spot. Everybody's got an IR spot on their team. And so
He's
if you don't want to drop
retiring.
him, just hold on to him.
He's retiring.
Well, he's not officially up for the whole season, though. So you might get a little fantasy playoff boost.
Yeah, his injury status is month to month. There's only 4 months in the NFL season.
I mean, I'm not keeping him, but
Did you guys see Kirk Cousins' touchdown dance after the throw to Rudolph?
I was enjoying the touchdown too much.
I don't
It was
remember
just
it
a
either.
total goober move. He just looked like he was Phil Mickelson in that commercial where he's like biting off the balls because Cousins is like pump, 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 like little jazzercise aerobics. Look it up.
Wow.
It was worth it.
That's pretty a deep pull by Kirk for his first touchdown or second, maybe.
So, and Khalil Mack saw this stat: the first player since himself to have a sack, interception, touchdown, forced fumble, and recovered fumble. He did that all in 1 half. A great half.
I don't know. I think you got to trust Gruden, though, with all those facial expressions. That guy thinks a lot.
So that was on my list of things to bring up. That is. Does he try to do that, or is that natural?
He has to. Like, there's no way that's natural.
Every time they showed him on camera, it was a facial expression I've never seen in my life on anyone.
I know. It's got to be made up. All right. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm getting a little draft in here.
Let's kick it. All right, stop, collaborate and listen. I sit back with my brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly, flow like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will you never stop? Yo, I don't know.
So you would all know what segment that's for, but we didn't have that song last week. So this is Winter is Coming for all you players up in the North Division. We are officially 101 days away from the official start of winter. Let's go. And you know, the official start of winter is the winter solstice, which means our friends up north are looking towards a full day of no sun. Zero sun they don't get on winter. So last week I read stories. Today I thought I would either bore or excite you with some great forecasting.
Exciting for me.
Oh, yeah. So starting December 21st, this is the expected forecast for Minneapolis, Minnesota. So Thursday, December 21st,
Extended
a
forecast.
high of 32 degrees Fahrenheit,
Whew.
a low of 16 degrees Fahrenheit. Monday, high of 19,
Oh,
low of 6 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, and don't forget, you're expected to get 4 inches of snow that day.
Ooh.
Break it into Tuesday, high of 18 degrees, low of 6 degrees. Sunny, though. To melt off all that snow you got the previous day. Next day's a big blizzard. High of 25, low of 15.
wait, was that Christmas? The big blizzard day?
I believe so, actually. Yeah. The North Division looking for a very blizzardy Christmas.
Ouch.
And then Thursday, you guys, or not Thursday, I don't know what day I'm on, but the next day is high of 21, low of 6. And then you guys didn't think I'd keep going this long, but we're doing a 7-day forecast. This is day number 6
Got to.
in Minneapolis, Minnesota. High of 19 degrees, low of 6 degrees. And then they end the 7-day forecast with another blizzard. Oh, blizzard. And then I think I wanted to just finish this segment off with a nice reading of the Phoenix forecast for the same week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Oh,
this week of winter for us people here in Phoenix. Day one, it is completely sunny with a high of 65, low of 50. Yeah, pretty nice. Next day is partly cloudy. You know, we can't get everything we want. Partly cloudy, high of 70, low of 64. I can't ask for a better day, actually, on the calendar. Day number 3, high of 72, low of 64. Wow, I think I just said that twice in a row. Okay, here's day number 3.
And this one's,
High
I thought we're on 5.
Oh, we're on
Yeah,
4.
this
We're on
is
4. We're at
4,
day
and
number
it's
4. Day number
Christmas.
4.
Go ahead.
Christmas.
Christmas. So Christmas in Phoenix, Arizona, or out on the West Coast, probably all similar, beautiful weather. Completely sunny, high of 75, low of 72.
Yeah.
So pretty much
Wow.
perfect the entire day.
Is
Get this.
Boxer
It
Day
does
the next
that-
day?
Boxer Day?
Yeah, isn't that the 26th?
Oh, yeah, you're
Boxing
right.
Day.
And it's the same, high of 75, low of 72.
Good.
And then you guys really didn't think I'd actually read off 7 days of forecast. Well, here you go. Day number 6, 75, low of 70, partly cloudy. And then day number 7, you know, you can't get everything you want. It's mostly cloudy with a high of 70, low of 63 here in Phoenix.
Wow.
So that is this week's Winter is Coming segment, just to get you all on the West Coast prepared for a wonderful winter, and you in the North Division or the Midwest, just reminding you what's coming day one of winter.
It's quite literally winter is coming with the weather forecast and everything. All right.
Thank you, Nick.
Let's kick it over to our next sponsor. But first,
I have no leg. I have no leg. I'm about to find you, Zooty B.
Let's get it, Mac.
Look, good evening. Yeah. When I party in New York, take the late night subway. Going out Friday, then coming home Monday. From all directions, never find me on a one-way flavor. The rhyme just the icing on a cupcake, fuck face. My fans notice these other rappers is bogus. I'm supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and the voice stay kicking incredibly dope shit. Make my mama proud, cause my clothes fit. Travel around the globe, bitch, on my Lewis Clark shit. Don't matter where I live, cause I can tell you where my heart is. I just stay on my side, fuck where everybody at. Tell the planet peace, cause I'm gone, I ain't coming back. Had the whole regular life.
With a long intro, son.
Yeah. Just wait for an extended. Oh, there we go. Can you hear that?
So it's time for an advertisement.
Whether you've got a heavy heart or broken legs, you can choose to wake up enlightened, brightened, and book with legs. A little something to lean on, that's important. Someone to hear from, that's support. And no matter what ails you or fails you, I've got the most dope antidote to help you sail through music. Yeah, it's the wonder drug humor. Yeah, that's another one. Mac Miller fell, but keep your thumbs up. I've got something to tell you, because whatever comes up, it's the free shit that counts. So count it up, 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 count it, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it. And the next time you go to your ATM, just type in code TLR and withdraw as much love as you need.
phenomenal.
That was amazing.
Except for my couple of hiccups. Mac wouldn't have tripped over his words there, but that's all right. He's a professional.
I don't know how this segues into. Go ahead.
Was a professional.
Ooh, ooh. It's not so cold anymore.
Technically.
All right. Well, to segue into Dick Tease of the Week, I think it's a two-parter. First part of Dick Tease of the Week, everyone's favorite segment. We had so many viewers that wanted to take part in the show, really wanted to join, contribute. We had a waiting list. In fact, we strategically decided who to come, who to not. And so the one guy we reached out to responds to our invitation to appear on this podcast by saying, I am honored for the ask and offer, but my whole goal in life since I started beheading white people in North Africa has been zero YouTube footprint. ... I'm just a low-key guy. Try to keep my nerves stable by staying that way. So I'm going to have to pass. But keep those casts coming, bro. So Dick teased because the first part of the message I thought we were in, and then he just dropped the hammer. We are not in. So that's a challenge. Challenge accepted. We can handle. The second Dick tease of the week that is more applicable to fantasy football, because that is, after all, why we're all here, is my own game against Nick. Going into Monday night, the second game, we each had two players. We each had a quarterback and a receiver. I'm a Raider guy. I had Carr and Cooper. Nick, closeted Rams fan, had Jared Goff and Brandon Cooks. Nick was up 3.8 points at the start of the game. So close, but it could go either way at that point.
Yeah.
At halftime, we cut into that lead. It's only 3.2 points. But Derek Carr's looking good in real life. He's 20 of 24, 199 yards, threw a dumb pick.
24.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm thinking same thing. Cooper had a rush. He had a catch. Well, little did I know, Cooper wouldn't touch the ball again. Carr would throw 2 more picks and only get another 9 completions in the whole game. So myself thinking I had a chance to win with a terrible showing, kind of skate by with one of those lucky wins you need every season where the guy you play just sucks. Well, instead I was that guy. So you're welcome, Nick. Won't happen again. Once I get some running backs healthy, I'm back, baby. But it's going to be a long 2 weeks until Aaron Jones is not suspended. So
I do appreciate that. And it's all about making the playoffs. And I don't care if my opponent scores 30, a win to win. I don't know if it was so much of a dick tease, because if Cooks, doesn't get pass interfered with the entire first half, he might throw up a 30 burger in that game. So that's up for debate. We'll maybe debate it later. Moving on to the Big Mama, I think that beheading of white people in Africa was just an extreme notion to distract us from the fact that he was denying to come on to our podcast.
We need Big Mama on this podcast. But you know what? We'll circle back. I think there's some other people that have very, nicely said, sure, I'll join. And maybe we'll let them on first, and then we'll show them how fun it looks.
Because nobody circles the wagons like the
TLR
podcast. But speaking of some of those other people, Nick, I feel like we had another lead that went awry this week. Can you?
So you know what? I think all the other people have, just been like, "Oh yeah, I want to be on the podcast," but they really don't know the work that goes into this, the commitment. I mean, I flew away from a hurricane. You got to prep all week. It's not just like, oh, show up on the podcast and I can just talk about everything. Yeah, no, it's not that easy. A lot of hard work. You can't just text us, I want to be on the podcast. You got to show us you want to be on the podcast. So that's my only comment there. I know what you were alluding to, Tommy, but I am not going to fall for it.
Well, good thing, because you just kind of blacked out for 10 seconds, so no one heard whatever you were going to say.
I actually heard that one. But something to keep in mind is that we are literally doing this live right now. So most people are probably not watching live right now. But
we currently have 0 viewers
right now.
We could. We should invite people to at least view live, because they can actually comment in live and we can answer their questions. Do a little mailbag segment.
But no one too attractive. We don't want them distracting from keeping their eyes on us.
That is true. All right.
I did dress up today.
Wait a minute. I thought you were traveling. You're at home.
Have you been listening to a word I've been saying? I had to escape the hurricane.
Oh, all right.
I just got home.
Well, thank you for keeping your commitment to Tuesday night. Actually, this is something worth bringing up live on the podcast. Let's say we're hypothetically, 4, 5, 6 weeks in, and one of us can't make the Tuesday night podcast. Do we try every week to try to reschedule? Or if we have 2 out of 3, do we just say Tuesday's the night, whoever can make it, make it?
Well, I'm glad you brought this up because I need to reschedule for next week.
All right, so not so hypothetical. What do you think, Tommy?
I can go. I can be flexible here. I can definitely move next week around a bit.
I need to do late Monday night.
I can make that work. But I do think we should, as best we can, try to move it so we can make it. And then if by all measures it can't work, you know what, the show must go on. The 65 people, what are they going to listen to on their Wednesday morning commute? So, you know, we're for the people, by the people, because we are people.
I'm on board with all that.
Next week there's gonna be 120 people.
I'm hoping for a double. Let's see. Our audience can only grow.
You know, that's one of the advantages of living on the West Coast. Monday night, Nick said we got to do it late. Well, the Monday Night Football game is going to end at like 8:30. So I'm not going to bed right after that like the rest of the country.
Yep.
So I just experienced Monday night on the East Coast last night.
Oh, that's right. That must have been.
It's brutal. I actually stayed up till 1 a.m. to watch the Rams finish their trouncing of the Raiders. See that Marcus Peters ball grab, which I can't believe we didn't talk about that. He Marshawn Lynch in Oakland. How did he not get Peters thrown at him?
Because he's cousins. He's from Oakland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really got to give a lot of props to ESPN for showing that replay 3 times.
Yeah.
A really close-up view that I thought for sure they were going to cut off right before. And nope, just let it loop.
All right, let's look around the league. So we covered that I lost to Don't Stop the Leavin'.
Yep.
Weekend at Bernie's, solid performance. Weekend at Bernie's pretty solidly beat. I assume that's a Chris with a K. Minnesota Ice. The reason I know it's Chris with a K is because Chris with a C has still the only guy that did not change his team name. But Chris's cool team will, I guess, work for a little while.
Well, since you brought up Chris with a C, I would like to point out I was right with one of my picks for worst teams in the league. His team looked horrible.
It was second worst team ahead of me. So yeah, it
somehow looks worse than your team.
Yeah, well, it's easy to say when you're 1-0.
Yep. No thanks to Trey Burton. Weekend at Burton Ernie's won despite him, but looking up, and I'm feeling pretty good. Just so you guys know.
When is Le'Veon coming back, though? Because like James Conner's only as good as Le'Veon's absence.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm pretty sure my money's on him coming back week 11 and the Steelers making a point by saying, you know what? We're 4-6 and we don't need you. And they just don't activate him. And then I get Connor for the whole year.
Yeah, well, I think he has to come back by that time for his free agency or something like that, right around then. Like,
that's true.
Yes.
So
I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts. I do have to point out something with the scheduling for both you all, because I'm sure Nick hasn't noticed yet, and the rest of the league. We have every other week North playing North and West playing West. And then now week 2, we'll have all inter-conference matchups or divisions, whatever you want to call them.
Did you spend over or under 3.5 hours making the schedule?
Under, but that was an important number for me to listen to before I answered that question.
Very good. Well, I appreciate the thought, and I know I've got you on the docket next week, so I'm hoping James Conner comes back to earth.
Yeah, I took a quick look at that, and your matchups are also brutal.
Yes, they are.
So, 2-0 next week.
So I have another. Oh, go ahead. I was going to bring up Winklevision, so I can't wait to hear what you're about to say.
A narrow win after a narrow projected win, but the Keelan Cole, Benjamin Watson, Kenyon Drake had me scratching my head, but he pulled it out because I think a low day from Diggs and Burkhead and the zero burger put up by Rashard Matthews really dented Chris's cool team.
Wait, Rashard Matthews is owned in our league?
And started, and was started.
Okay.
So,
no, you got it.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, you called me out for having to get the win off the low opponent. I think Winklevision gets that award for the week. And now, here's a debate. If you had to take one running back or wide receiver from Winklevision's team, one, would you take any? And two, who would it be? If it's not Robbie Anderson.
He's got Dalvin Cook.
Well, you kind of answered it before you finished your question, but preseason I was trying to trade for Robbie Anderson. I was offering up Alfred Morris pretty hard, but
Yeah.
but I don't think I want Robbie Anderson anymore. He had one target. I understand that he scored a touchdown on that one target, but I'm feeling pretty good that I don't have Robbie Anderson on my team. That's a little bit. I'm not a big like Deshaun Jackson, Ted Ginn kind of guy. The guys that have one catch and one touchdown or put up 0 burgers. The aforementioned 0 burger.
Well, I think moving to the game of the week has to be our current.
You have to answer who you take from Winklevision.
Dalvin Cook or Kerryon Johnson. But I have no running backs, so I would take a breathing corpse of Le'Veon Bell.
We should talk trade after this podcast, Tommy. I have 6.
Yeah, float him my way.
All right.
Big fan of the matchup between Big Mama and tight end guy. One, props to tight end guy for taking my name suggestion out of context, but fully utilizing the right context. But highest scoring game, we had a 131 to 121. Some big numbers because there were some Saints players involved,
right.
And Tyreek Hill was there. So some of the big hitters week 1.
And it came down to the wire, which it was the best matchup the whole weekend.
It was certainly the most highest scoring, which usually makes for the best. Looking at some of the players here that were benched, they also Big Mama made almost every right call. Granted, it helps that a lot of them are out or injured, but only one guy on his bench put up anything, and then the rest of his roster scored. Kenny Stills was sat. That one probably hurts tight end guy. Maybe should have focused less on Kelsey and more on Kenny Stills.
Yeah, that's tough because you score the 3rd most points in the week, and so you have the bad matchup, and then you also have the regret of Stills on the bench. I saw that.
Starting 2 tight ends.
Well, Gronk did his piece, got him 16. Kelsey had 1 catch for 6 yards.
Yeah, how about that Chiefs squad? I'm just catering to get Big Mama to listen, but Tyreek Hill, obviously a monster, but not only was Kelsey a dud, but Sammy Watkins was a huge dud, and then Kareem Hunt really wasn't ideal either.
I'm glad you brought up Tyreek Hill. I think he's someone you have to trade. I think he's peaked. I think you don't want to touch him any more than you have to. I think Big Mama has to be looking to get him off his hands.
I think that's next week. We got to get him on and see what we can trade for him. Help Me Roger actually worked out. He put up a second highest score against Kyle. Kyle seems like a normal run-of-the-mill player who just got burned by Doug Baldwin getting hurt and New Orleans allowing 48 points. Besides that, I can't fault too much. But Roger went with Rodgers, which is an amazingly smart move every week.
We don't talk about him.
So something I wanted to talk about with Kyle. You mentioned that he is a run-of-the-mill player, and I actually don't know the proper pronoun. What are we? Are we owners? Are we GMs? I don't think we're players, but maybe we are.
I'm an owner.
We're gonna need more time. You guys ready?
Okay.
I'm like a Jerry Jones owner that is the GM.
Only drinking Blue Label. Yeah, I say player because I'm a fantasy football player in that I'm getting into it, but I could see both arguments. I'm not tied to it either way. I'll
take the GM one then. So Tommy's a player, Nick's an owner, and I'm a GM.
I'm both an owner and a GM.
Can I get the spelling of both there?
Boolth.
Thought I heard the L. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the Saints because how excited are you guys that the Saints defense, from what we knew, is back? The Saints D is back.
Yeah, I remember 2 years ago.
Worst defense in the league. Oh.
Everybody thought they were going to have the worst passing defense, and then they got like a couple good draft picks. Although one of those draft picks, super unclutch, especially in the playoffs. But yeah, I don't think the Saints are a huge threat. I hope not. I don't really know. Who do you think, Tommy, is the best team in the NFL? Like, favorite to win it all right now?
I mean, you guys are in the conversation. Minnesota's up there. I hate New England, but they're there every year. So until I see otherwise, I thought it was going to be Atlanta, but they didn't quite produce on Thursday like I thought they could, and they got some big injuries. So with that smorgasbord, it's someone coming from the NFC North, but it's could be Green Bay because what we just saw was Rodgers willing the team to victory, and I don't think Cousins could do that, and that's what it comes down to.
Like trash.
Yeah, I don't see the Vikings losing a game actually.
No.
I guess we'll find out this upcoming Sunday. Vikings Packers.
Is that the night game or is that a day game?
It's a 10 a.m. start for us Westerners.
Oh, that's like game of the week, nice and early.
I know. That's why we can do our podcast early, because they put Seahawks Bears on Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football is never good. It's always Sunday Night Football that is the fun games.
That is correct. It's the NFL sticking it to ESPN.
I love how no matter how hard they try to make Thursday Night Football good, it's still the most boring game of the week.
Yeah, I'm not watching it. Do you guys watch Monday Night Football, being that it's on ESPN? And
especially if I have a player in it.
Yeah, I had to last night so I could watch me crush Tom.
Oh, okay. I thought your ban was permanent, but okay.
That's a Nick ban. I've disagreed with the reporting of Mark Schlabich, but I didn't.
No, it's Mark the Dr. Slaybaugh.
Yeah. Pick your variety.
And I boycotted by canceling Insider on ESPN. That's about as far as I'll go.
Now you would get ESPN Plus included with Insider.
What the fuck is that?
Well, exactly. Anyways, last game of the week, we had Big Midget losing by 11 points to Ben, my arch nemesis. And I believe there was a factoid of we're going to learn a little bit more about Ben each week. So I'd like to personally say I'm not sure who he is, but he is my sworn nemesis. And if I saw him, I'm not sure if I would spit in my hand before I shook it or what I would do, but it wouldn't be pleasant.
Yeah, I was kicking around an idea for a segment, Who You Been? But I will admit, I went to Chris Bradley's Facebook page, who I'm 100% sure is the only person in the league that's ever met Ben, and was able to find Ben as a friend on Facebook. You can look at friends of your friends. And so I proceeded the investigation. I was able to see a few pics. So maybe if this segment stuck around, I could show you guys a couple pics. But beyond like a bunch of people posting for his birthday, not a whole lot of information on Ben. So as much as I want to do a weekly Who Are You Ben segment, I don't think we should.
All right, well then let's go to your next weekly segment. What you munching, Baghdad's the whole 9 yards.
Oh yeah, all right. This is our first official week with regular Baghdad segment. I just did a little quick math. We don't have any dads today, so we're gonna move straight along past the what you munchin' and go straight into what was the best meal you had this week. And as a bonus, while you're talking, you might as well throw in what you had tonight, so we can kind of get an idea of what your breath might smell like.
Solid. Lead us off.
All right. So I'm in Prescott, and I went to the El Gato Azul, which apparently stands for Blue Cat, because they had a bunch of blue cats on their menu. So I think there's a little bit of a, algorithm there or something. But anyway, I had some tapas from there, and it was pretty good. I'm not going to give it my best of the week, but I had. Well, here was the thing. You tell me, if you had to decide between a fried avocado or fried goat cheese, which would you give a try? Because that was the decision I was faced with.
Avocado.
Nick? Both, again with the L.
Yeah, I considered doing 2 out of 2. But instead, I ended up going with the goat cheese. And then it was very good. I also had a Thai beef bowl, which said that it was going to be in a shell of some sorts, but then it was in an actual bowl. I was a little disappointed about that, but the taste was great. So shout out to the Blue Cat. No, the El Gato Azul. I'm not sure how Tommy remembered that, but the best meal I had this week was homemade. Got to give a nice shout out to my wife. And what we had, I actually had it twice this week. It was so yummy. It was carne asada tacos with a little bit of cilantro, and it had some avocado and tortilla, and we put some sriracha mayo on there. But it just came out nicely. What'd you guys
Very
think?
nice.
Fire away, Nick.
Well, I'm still boycotting this segment because it's the best meal of the week, and we're shooting this on Tuesday. So I literally have like 3 meals.
No, let's say since last show.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. It's best meal of the week. So best meal of the week is.
Why are you so resistant to the?
I'll try to say it that way next time, Tommy.
Yeah,
Okay.
it makes
Thank
sense
you.
to me.
Nope. It doesn't make sense to me. So yesterday I was in North Carolina. I had some Carolina-style barbecue ribs, half rack with the side of Southern collard greens.
Now, since I've never been there, isn't that
Yeah.
a little bit like more on the sweeter side, or what would you say kind of differentiates Carolina style?
Sweeter side, the sauce is like very runny, like it's not thick.
Ooh. Did it give you the runs?
Not yet. Not yet. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Okay.
What was the other? Oh, what did I have tonight? So you can figure out what my breath smells like. Tonight I had in the Raleigh-Durham Airport terminal for Southwest, which, by the way, avoid at all costs. The other terminal where Delta and American is much nicer. There is one restaurant option, and I had probably bottom 3 buffalo chicken tenders I've ever had in my life. with the Stella Artois.
That one might give you the runs.
I'm worried about that one. And my breath is rancid.
Dangerous double down there.
Mine, I guess, using Nick's logic, since I've only had like 2 meals this week, my best was the one I had tonight, which was from a little restaurant near us called Aquí, which means here, where we'd see Gatos Azules too. And I had some.
We've been to Aquí.
We have been to Aquí.
Is that a palindrome?
No.
Okay.
But I don't think Blue Gato had an algorithm either, but I let that one go. And at Aquí, I had some chicken enchiladas that were pretty nice. Little crispy corn tortilla. They're like the little kind. They're not the big old, plate with rice and beans. And then they serve it with like this cilantro crema sauce on top. Pretty good. Had it before. I'll have it again.
That was a classic technique there, folks, of saving a little bit of time by consolidating tonight's meal with your favorite meal of the week, which gives us a quick paradigm shift into our next segment. Nicely done, Tommy.
Next advertisement. What do we got?
I'm still disappointed there wasn't any what you munching on.
No dads, no what you munching. What can I say?
There wasn't dads last week.
I was just showing an example of what if there was a dad for the pilot episode.
Okay, agree to disagree. All right, our next advertisement is from Garage Star. Have you ever parked your car in a garage and had to deal with the mayhem that is paying the parking fee? Parking structures have cut human employees to save costs and take away American jobs and replace them with machines. Each machine different from the next, ready to ruin your day. We need to drain the swamp with the Garage Star credit card. All you do is find the exit, and swipe your Garage Star credit card. Garage Star will always lift the impending garage gate and lets you take care of the payment later. For a small convenience fee of $5, this card is an APR of 30%. Garage Star is saving you stress each and every time you park. Type in promo code TLR to get your $5 off your first convenience fee. APR 30%. Garage Star.
Nice.
I like that. That was, I couldn't understand at first, and then I got Garage Card, then it totally clicked. Anyways, yeah, there was that too.
Wait. My thing cut out. Did you just say that the whole time he was saying Garage Card?
Credit card.
Because I thought you were saying Garage Star the entire
That's
time.
what I exactly.
It's
That's
garage,
what I thought.
it's Garage Star credit card. Okay, I'll read it one more time.
No.
Our next
All right,
advertisement
all right.
is Garage Star.
And then
Have you
can I
ever
do my
parked
Mac
your car
again?
in the garage and had to deal with the mayhem that is paying the parking fee?
Mayhem.
Parking structures have cut human employees to save costs and take away American jobs and replace them with machines. Each machine different from the next, ready to ruin your day. We need to drain the swamp. With the Garage Star credit card, all you do is find the exit, swipe the card, and you're ready to go. Garage Star will always lift that impending garage gate unless you take care of the payment later. For a small convenience fee of $5, this card is an APR of 30%. Garage Star is saving you stress each and every time you park. Type in promo code TLR to get $5 off your first convenience fee today. Garage Star credit card.
The 30% is a fantastic market rate. I can't believe that they're offering it.
I don't know why you just did that to our sponsor.
All right, acapella this time because my phone died. Whether you got a heavy heart,
No,
broken
we're
legs,
done.
you
We're
All right.
done. That was good. I should have stopped the other one because I want to get to Sleeper Keeper. See what I did there? It almost was like I want to get to Sleeper Keeper. Last week I called Royce Freeman a sleeper keeper, which appears to be incorrect. Although if he could have combined with Philip Lindsay, that might have been the sleeper keeper. So this week I'm going off the cuff a little bit.
Oh, Cooper Cup. See what you did there?
Except not quite, because I was watching some college football and noticed, wait, not only should I watch this for enjoyment, but I should be scouting future players that I should be drafting. So this week, our focus is on Texas A&M wide receiver Kendrick Rogers, sophomore out of Frankston, Texas. Shout out Frankston. This dude was making all sorts of catches in tight windows, getting beat up, kept bouncing right up, fast as lightning. He's a guy I'm watching as the next big Texas A&M receiver. He also wore number 13 like Mike Evans, and so I feel like he's trying to emulate a game off him. So a little future Mike Evans in the works at Texas A&M. So Kendrick Rogers is my sleeper keeper for this week.
Well, I appreciate it. I have two concerns. My first concern is I don't know if I should question your judgment after Royce Freeman, as you talked about. And two, I can't invest in watching any college football, so I won't be watching a single snap of his. But I will read about him in a magazine next August.
Except he's a sophomore, so he's got another year of eligibility.
Wow. That's a deeper pull than Kirk Cousins there.
This is a deep league.
It is a deep league, and it's a 3-year commitment. Like, if you're thinking this year, you're thinking wrong. You got to be thinking ahead.
All right. Nick, do you have any sleeper keepers for the week?
No.
I think what he meant to say is that, no, you should not keep a quarterback. I mean, everybody can do their own strategy, but my personal opinion, I don't think there's a single quarterback that's really that close to being a keeper. And I think that's pretty easy math. Pretty easy math, though, because I don't believe Aaron Rodgers or any other quarterback was drafted in the first 3 rounds. I could be wrong on that. Rodgers might have been a late 3rd rounder by Roger.
I do have a sleeper keeper, actually.
Okay.
Fire.
Jets defense.
Ooh, so bid now. By the time people view this, they'll have already been purchased.
Yes, that is true. Oh, that
You
brings
think
me.
they're worth keeping, though?
Maybe.
Well, how bad do you think the Lions are?
Really bad.
So, But I think a good prediction we should all make right now is what's the highest bid that's going to get dropped this week on a player?
Oh, I like this. So we're going with you got to just trust us that we filmed this before
It's going to go live in an
bids
hour.
came out.
Yeah, it's going to go live in an hour.
No, it goes more at like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Sure. No.
Oh, the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So people might watch it before. All right. I'll go first. $35.
You think that's the max bid?
I'm pretty sure that's what Mark has bid on somebody. But now that we're on the subject, what about Ryan Fitzpatrick?
I think the highest bid is going to be 35 seems a little high. That's a 30, but I'll say 28.
Here's the problem. Well, Nick, do you have a number? I shouldn't say my problem yet.
18.
And we're over Fitzpatrick, so don't bring that up again.
18? Okay. So usually I feel like week 1 would be the highest bids because you got the most amount of money and like there's zero actual data. So then like you've got monsters a lot of times, like Deshaun Watson last year. Cam Newton in a lot of leagues was undrafted the year he blew up week 1. Like even Odell Beckham Jr. might have blown up game 1. I can't remember. He definitely did in the preseason anyway. But this year, I guess the problem is no one really had that week. So I probably shouldn't have said that high of a number.
Yeah.
Because you talked about Lindsey, but Royce also had a pretty good game. So is he really that valuable? I mean, he's definitely going to get purchased.
But I think he's a number 2. Like unless Royce gets hurt, he's got a limited ceiling.
Yeah. And nobody like blew out a knee. Nobody too important.
Yeah.
I don't think Ian Thomas is going for too much.
No. And there's also those types where like the backups are usually by committee versus like there's an in-place backup. And so I noticed a lot of the in-place backups were already drafted. So the ones that do get injured now, it's all the committee types.
I dropped a guy that'll probably get some pretty decent bids on him, TJ Yeldon.
I saw that.
After I drafted him. I tried to trade him to the Fournette owner before the season started, and he said, this is who I played, Chris with a K. He said he had zero interest because he had Corey Grant, but I suspect that he might want to try to do a little swap-a-roo there.
I'll bet there's an offer on that one, yeah.
What's our time looking like? Are we breaking the record?
All right, well then on to our last segment, a look beyond the trio and look ahead to next week.
Well, I have 2 looks beyond the trio. Actually, one's within the trio. Just I didn't know where else to bring it up. But what timeline are we on? Actually,
I can't tell, and I don't want to click something and end it. But
okay, good call. So within the trio, well, actually, you know what? This is out of the trio, but back in the trio because I'm going to ask the question. In one of my other fantasy leagues, I know we're not supposed to talk about that, but this is beyond the trio.
Ooh, taboo.
Yeah, there was a big debate because there was a tie this week, and one team had like 100 points on their bench, and one team did not. And the team that did not was, oddly enough, the commissioner of the league, and he set the rules so that he got a tie. And there was uproar, emails, texts are still going on. We don't really know what to do. So I felt like we should know what the tiebreaker is.
Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, that's not in the novel.
Yeah.
It's not in the novel at all. I guess my question for you, and we should still have the discussion, but does that league have decimals?
No decimals. It was 115 to 115.
All right. Well, they're a bunch of morons, but that's
it still happens in decimals.
It still could happen, but
way less so.
Much less likely. And also, I would point out that there is definitely weeks where, depending on like, oh, my guy got 68 yards and 54 yards, and your guy got 61 and 31. Like, you could have teams that win that shouldn't win because of that. But anyway, if there was a tie in Trio League, I think we should hash it out right here. And I don't have a strong preference, but I don't know that benches should have anything to do with it.
I just don't want to tie.
I think Kamish's call is going to be interesting next week.
All right. Yeah, I mean,
I did want to bring up a point similar to that though, like those little bullshit half passes that count as a passing touchdown.
God.
There were 3 of those yesterday. 2 by Mahomes, 1 by Goff. Like
I'm a fan.
I'm pretty sure the entire Rams team saw that and were like immediately putting it in the playbook, and it worked.
Right. Like, oh, this one in the afternoon. Let's put it in for the night game.
Yeah. But we can't do anything about that. I mean, in my opinion,
agree.
we're not going to edit that out. But if that becomes a super like in vogue play, it's going to be a nice little talker.
Oh, yeah.
What's that play called?
I believe it's called the mini shuffle.
The Iggy shuffle. All right, Nick.
The icky shuffle, according to Tommy. He didn't like it. Icky, yucky.
Icky.
I was a big fan. I do have one more look beyond the trio.
What you got?
Good.
You know what? Maybe I'll just get straight to it. I was gonna preface it, but you know what? How come the media makes all their money off hurricane and natural disaster coverage? And let's look at it a different way. Is the media behind Hurricane Florence and all the disaster that's about to happen? I'll put that out to the floor.
I got nothing for you there. I mean, you were in North Carolina. Did it seem like there was a hurricane coming?
Yeah, but I think the media has found a way to create these storms and natural disasters. They are on TV all day, every day, the whole week, and the hurricane hasn't even hit.
Well, Stephen A. Smith is on TV all day, every day. I'm not sure what good he's doing either.
But he's a blowhard. Classic weather.
He is a great pontificator.
Is he though?
No, that's what he says about himself.
So you guys have no problem with the conspiracy theory?
I haven't given it a lot of thought, but I think you would be better served to treat all news media as if it was just a bunch of Mark Schleibombs.
Oh, man.
Free Sean Miller.
Any last remarks before we close this guy up?
Mac Miller fell, but keep your thumbs up. I've got nothing to sell. Okay.